Penny's commitment to our students, community, and education are extraordinary. Junior Achievement of South Dakota, Inc. has the privilege of working with more than 1,500 South Dakota teachers annually. Penny Brunken stands out as one of the most exceptional South Dakota teachers. Penny is concerned about each one of her students, and she cares for them like they are one of her own. She takes every opportunity to show them the real world. She engages parents in their child's education. She builds a desire in her students to serve the community. Penny Brunken has made a difference in thousands of lives and will continue to impact young people in a positive manner. She is a strong candidate for Teacher of the Year and is very deserving of this prestigious award. She is a one-in-a-million type of educator with a lifelong impact on others.
She is there for her students for extra help and guidance through classwork and out-of-school situations like internship supervision. I, as her colleague, have always admired her uncanny ability to connect with her students, both in and out of the classroom. She never lowers her standards and has always had high expectations of her students, and they, in return, work to match them. Penny realizes the importance of keeping up to date on what is happening in the world of finance and business. She does this without hesitation and with the desire to keep her students informed.
As a business leader in the community, I have been impressed with Penny's organizational skills and her personal leadership skills. As a business partner with the National Academy of Finance, I have found Penny's enthusiasm for students' development to be contagious. Penny is a strong role model for the students and also for me as a business leader in the community. Her strength is her character, and the Sioux Falls School Board should be very proud to have Penny working with the students.
Carol's instructional and classroom management skills are exemplary. Her students love learning and are achieving at high levels. Carol has mastered the science of teaching, but probably more importantly, she has mastered the art of teaching. Even though Carol is a master teacher, she is never satisfied with the status quo and is always looking for ways to grow and learn as a professional. Carol also genuinely cares about her students, their families, and the Garfield learning community. She goes above and beyond in many, many ways. Carol is very deserving of the title Teacher of the Year. She has dedicated her life to teaching and has provided a firm foundation for learning among so many young students.
I got to know Carol Daly when I first volunteered to teach some science lessons at Garfield Elementary a few years after I retired. Her room is a warm, organized, and safe place full of things. While it's a tough quality to measure, she has a large and inviolable capacity for bringing along students with very diverse backgrounds and experiences. Carol Daly is a quality teacher and a quality person. She's generous with praise, wears a smile all day, laughs a lot, and she's quick to encourage her students to have high goals for themselves. Her classroom is a model for how to get things done and have the kids love it.
I was a student of Mrs. Daly's in kindergarten and first grade. I loved Mrs. Daly and was sad to see that I couldn't have her again for second grade. Mrs. Daly is one of the best teachers I've ever had. She is such a great person and teacher that I still keep in touch with her. Mrs. Daly always makes you feel welcome. I have never met a parent or child that doesn't love Mrs. Daly. Because of the kind of teacher that Mrs. Daly is, this makes me want to be a teacher just like her someday. I've seen how respected she is by her students and the parents of the students, that this is what I want for myself someday.
She is a tireless worker, always putting forth that extra effort to ensure that all endeavors she pursues are successful. Mrs. Greeno is one of those rare educators who not only teach the academic subjects as required by the curriculum, but also gets to know her students personally and strives to achieve growth in all aspects of each student's life. Her students not only learn from the books, but also learn about themselves, each other, and learn to appreciate and grow through the experiences they will have in life. Students enjoy her class, and the relationship they share inspires them to do or to try anything she asks of them, as she encourages them to live up to their full potential.
When the students study explorers, a yearly canoe trip is planned on the Sioux River, so students can chart the riverbank and record observations as the early explorers did. They not only read about exploration, they experience it. When they study historical figures, they give oral reports dressed as the person they read a biography about. Mrs. Greeno sets high expectations, but creates a positive environment where mistakes are fixed, Students are valued, and parents are respected. Sue Greeno inspires her students, families, and colleagues to be the best they can be.
Both our children have greatly benefited from being in her class. We see her pass on her excitement for learning on a daily basis. She continues to use great activities to make the curriculum real for our children and all children. Children are excited to come to school every day and hang out at the end of the day just to spend more time with her. Mrs. Greeno talks to the kids with respect and on their level, teaching them to expect this of themselves and others as well. It speaks to the relationships she has built with her students and families when all are excited to come back and visit and continue to share their lives with her.
During the years I have worked with Cher, I observed her practice and saw how she emphasizes teamwork. She is non-assuming and non-judgmental with the families, classmates, and students. In times of challenging moments with some families, Cher uses her time to educate in a very respectful and passionate way. Often families leave the building with a sense that she cares about their concerns and truly wants to work with them on solving the issues in a manner that considers their cultural background. Cher is a model teacher who clearly loves sharing her wisdom with the students and colleagues.
Cher demonstrates excellent skills as a support for her ELL teaching peers in the Sioux Falls School District. She offers help with effective instructional strategies and methods, provides support for lesson design, and assures a thorough understanding of required assessments and the connection to standards. Her excellent communication skills and ability to work with adults make her an excellent collegial peer. Cher has a heart for her students and their families. She respects all she meets and has a deep understanding for people from various and diverse cultures. Her strong knowledge base, love for her students and their families, integrity, and her willingness to work as a team player make her a valuable asset and a wonderful candidate for Teacher of the Year.
It's always a delight to enter Cher's classroom where students are learning English. The climate is warm and inviting. Students are enthusiastic and excited about their learning. Children who struggle with learning are especially blessed to have Cher as their teacher. Cher truly believes that all children can learn. She does whatever it takes to give those children extra help and attention. Many hours beyond the school day are devoted to planning and helping her students. Due to her leadership abilities, she motivates her peers to learn and grow as professionals, as well as inspires them through her dedication to the students.
I stand here tonight as a very proud school board member, proud of all the nominees, and really to be associated with the school district tonight. It was my honor and privilege to serve on the committee this year, and it was, if I had to pick a word out to describe the process for me, it was very humbling to read through all those nominees, and they all had a unique story about them, and they all had different backgrounds, but they all had one thing in common, and that was a passion for our kids. And they delivered on that passion, and they still do day in and day out. I can say, as I speak for the committee, I'm sure it was quite a daunting task actually to have to actually come up with a winner from all of these nominations. You know, I myself read through them 2 and 3 times, scoring the sheets, double checking, and like I said, there were so many, you know, there were great applications to read through, but it was a daunting task. Nonetheless, we did come up with a winner, and let me tell you a little bit something about the winner. Give you a little description of our winner tonight. A mentor, model teacher, professional, communicator, leader, our 2009 Teacher of the Year is an active, lifelong learner and educator. She is not afraid of trying new ideas and approaches in her classroom. She shares her knowledge with fellow teachers, embodies the team concept, and truly believes in the value of professional collaboration. Her community involvement complements the work she does with the students in her classroom. She has completed specialized training courses and earned advanced education degrees to further enhance her skills as an effective teacher. Probably fits all of our nominees out there. So let's get a little more specific and really listen to this story. It's very powerful, and I think you'll enjoy it. In the words of one administrator, she has demonstrated the ability to apply her skills in a variety of settings. Her strong knowledge base, love for her students and their families, integrity, and her willingness to work as a team player make her a valuable asset. Finally, in response to why she is a teacher, she writes, "I always knew I loved working with children, but when I became an ELL teacher, I realized my true passion. In one of my first years as an ELL teacher, a little girl arrived from a refugee camp in Sudan. Her behavior resembled that of an animal rather than a human being. She would kick, spit, scream, and hide under her table. She was terrified, and I was terrified for her. She had to learn to use a toilet, wear shoes, sit at a desk, and hold a pencil. Eventually, she learned to speak English. By the end of the school year, she was learning to read and write. Every day for 3 years, she came to my classroom, eager to learn. Then she went to middle school. 3 years later, I received a phone call at home one evening. It was her. She told me that she was in 8th grade and a straight A student. She had the lead role in the school play and was calling to extend an invitation. With tears streaming down my cheeks, I was nearly speechless. A few nights later, I watched her perform. I was so proud of the successful young lady that she had become. This is just one of my success stories. This is why I am a teacher. So tonight it is my extreme honor to congratulate Cher May as the 2009 Dr. John W. Harris Teacher of the Year. Congratulations, Cher. And with that, I would like to present you with this plaque on behalf of the school board and the school district, and congratulate you, and ask Mr. Bruce Eide, who also has a presentation for you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So how do you feel now?
Overwhelmed, very overwhelmed.
Every teacher who has stood here for 21 years has felt overwhelmed. And some of those out in the audience who have stood here share with your success. It's a real delight to get to meet you, Shar.
Thank you.
Nice to say hi to you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
You kind of uplift all of the teachers across the city and our state and around our whole country. But you're the one who gets the $3,000. On behalf of our little company, we want to give you this check, and you can enjoy it for a long time. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Can I say something? Please do. Can I?
you know, you just had to read the story because I was fine up until that point. Actually, I cried when I wrote that part of the story. Ever since I was a little girl, I dreamed of being a teacher, but I never imagined that I would receive such an honor. I am very humbled and honored to accept this award. It's been nearly 15 years since Rodney Unruh hired me as an ELL teacher at Franklin Elementary in Sioux Falls. And when I interviewed for the position, I didn't really realize what the job all entailed. I was just thrilled to get a teaching job. So when I was called and told that I would be teaching ELL at Franklin, I was elated. And when I went into his office, I thought, you know, I can do this. I've had 4 years of undergrad and I feel good about this, until he handed me my student list. And I realized that I couldn't pronounce any of the names on my student list. They were all children who were from African or Asian countries. And then he told me there was no curriculum. And then I thought, I don't remember learning about this in any of my teaching textbooks. But I jumped in with both feet, and little did I know, excuse me, that teaching English language learners would become a passion of mine. And I can honestly say that every day I go to work, I love what I do. I've strived to make a difference in my students' lives, and ironically, my students and their families are the ones that have made a difference in my life. I would like to thank Clara Hart for nominating me. She's been a co-worker and a very dear friend. I would also like to thank my family and friends who are here supporting me and have supported me in my personal and professional life. And I would also like to thank the administrators here and Nancy for being a wonderful principal. And lastly, I would like to thank the Sioux Falls School District and Vernite for offering this as an award to teachers, because there are many deserving teachers out there. Thank you.
There's a real check somewhere. We'll find it. You may. She wants to sit. We'll allow her to. In closing this evening, I would like to thank each of you for spending time in the celebration of quality education and quality teaching to the students in this district. Thank you to those who helped put this program together. Thank you to our judges and to Bruce Eide and Vernite Motor Cars. And just today, I received an email from one of our principals, and I'm certain that she didn't know that tonight was the Teacher of the Year event, but she sent this email actually to myself and to Dr. Adderholt. And it was to the extent that saying, you know, Pam, some days are tough, and sometimes when things get you down, there's a quote that I've carried with me all these years because it always lifts my spirit. And in here she said, maybe you have a use for it, or maybe it can help lift another person up. And I thought, how timely. And I'd like to close tonight by reading this quote, and in celebration of our honored guests tonight, our teachers. It's a quote from Lee Iacocca, and it says, "In a completely rational society, the best of us would be teachers. The rest of us would have to settle for something less, because passing civilization along from one generation to the next ought to be the highest honor and the highest responsibility anyone could ever have." Thank you for celebrating, and thank you, teachers, for what you do every day in our classrooms. Good evening.
since I was a little girl, I dreamed of being a teacher. But I never imagined that I would ever be Teacher of the Year. I mean, I've always thought that is such a prestigious award, and those teachers that have that title are so well respected and so deserving, and it's overwhelming to think that I have that title too. Very overwhelming. And it's a privilege to have that title. And I think being an ELL teacher,
Read that first paragraph.
it is maybe even a little bit more overwhelming because a lot of times teachers that are in special programs may not be recognized as often. They're kind of the behind the scenes teachers, but I think it represents all ELL teachers in the Sioux Falls School District that, you know, there are many hardworking and deserving teachers for the Teacher of the Year award, and it's just a privilege to have that title. My main philosophy of teaching has been to believe in every child, that they can do it. And I think that that philosophy has been what has motivated me to want to be a better teacher, to motivate my students to want to learn and to be the best that they can be. And you know, with the experience that I've had with these families and the students, you build relationships with those families and students, and you learn that, you know, you're not only a teacher, but you're their counselor, you're their social worker, you're their nurse, you're so much more to them. You're their connection to so many things in the community, and you almost become an important part of that family, because as an ELL teacher, you don't just have these students 1 year. You may have them 3, 4, 5 years, and then if they have siblings, you have those children. So the families really trust you and respect you and come to rely on you for a lot of answers that they have in their lives. And so my philosophy has been that as a teacher, there's so much you can do, and you can make a difference in the lives of your students, and that you do need to believe in them and help them be successful at being a student so that they can go out into the world and be a successful citizen. The most rewarding thing about my job is the relationships I build with the families and students. That is the most rewarding, because even though you've had, you know, one child or 5 or 6 of their children, they build a connection with you, and they come to trust you, and those relationships are so powerful because they trust you and they believe that you're going to do what's best for your child. So that is the most rewarding things, because a lot of times those relationships last well beyond elementary school. One of the best things that's come out of this is a phone call that I got last evening, and it was from that student who I had written the story about what a difference her life had become from her education here in the Sioux Falls School District. And she called me because she had been contacted and told that I was the Teacher of the Year in Sioux Falls. And so I hadn't talked to her since she was in 8th grade, and now she is in her 3rd year at college. And it was absolutely amazing. I mean, she sounded just like she did when I remembered her, and she talked about what an impact I had made in her life and what an amazing teacher I was. And she said, I wouldn't be where I am today if it weren't for you. So that was so powerful and just so rewarding for me to hear that, because I'd often wondered where she had gone, and to hear that she's in her 3rd year of college and that she's, plays basketball, she got a full ride, and now she's looking at going to dental or medical school. It's just a full circle on this whole experience. And we are going to keep in contact with each other. So that is just another wonderful thing that's come out of this Teacher of the Year award. I would say that there's definitely a challenge to teaching English language learners because of the backgrounds that they come from. They're so diverse. I mean, we have students from Africa that come from refugee camps that have never sat in a desk or held a pencil. And now they come to the district and they have to learn how to be a student and be in a school environment, besides the climate changes and living in a house and finding a job and all the things that go with being a parent and a family in America. And then, you have families from other places too that have been in schools that are accustomed to that, but just the change in coming to a new community and a new country. And even though it presents its challenges with communication, of course, with the parents and the children, it also is very rewarding because you see what it's like when they come, and then you see the progress that they make in the community and becoming a part of the school and the community and learning English, and most of the time doing very well at being a student. So it's very exciting, even though it's very challenging. When they come into the classroom, the school's not only a new environment, but lots of times they're exposed to things that they've never been exposed to, like computers, technology, the food is different. All those things are different, and they are excited about learning because it's all new to them. And sometimes it becomes overwhelming, but I think that's what's so powerful about the ELL program, because it enables them to be in a safe place where they can learn and where they are motivated to learn and where they're encouraged to do their best and to be the best that they can be because they're surrounded by other kids who are so much like them.